Hi folks, Nick Shaheen here recapping the week ending 9/25. The week ended on a disappointing note. The Friday performance started out great, however, quickly turned into a nightmare for bulls. The Bulls had a decent bounce, a super bounce, actually about 54 points off the Thursday night low into the pre-open of Friday, only to see it all disappear and then go negative, except for the Dow, which had been held by, like, Nike, for example. But the majority of the tickers were red, including Apple, let go of a big lead. So a disappointing way, in fact. Let me see if I can visualize it for you. Here's one, open, little later, and the close. And you can see the weakness was in the biotech. Right here, right here. They were green, not so much. Red, bright red. We had an update from Thinkorswim, so things may pop up here and there. All right, so disappointing point. Another area also here, the collection, energy went red as well. So there are some pitfalls out there. Potential pitfalls, I should say. All right, so that's the scoreboard. How did the week end? The week ended in a disappointing manner. These are weekly candles for the S&P, for the NASDAQ, the Qs, and for the small caps, IWM. You can see that now we're at must-bounce levels. You see those lines that I drew here. We're bouncing off of a floorboard, if you want to think about it, from lower highs. Either the floorboard will be absolute, solid, or if it breaks, then we wish down further. So there is definite room, necessity to be cautious here. So why the drop? The drop is just because we have had no positive catalyst. We're running on empty with reasons why to buy dips. So the dips are not being bought. The pops are being sold because they're of the relief nature. And also we have areas of, like, for example, in the indices, I'm worried about, I've told you that before, about the, there we go. All this is new to me these days. So, all right. We have the, let's go to the NASDAQ. You can see this area right here is as big as Apple, actually, yeah, just about as big as Apple with its influence, and that's biotechs and healthcare, and they can fall a lot further, even though they're, quote, in correction territory. That doesn't mean they can't fall any further. All right, okay, gotcha. Okay, so there is definite room for disaster if we don't bounce. And what are we looking for next week? Next week, we are looking for things like politicians. We have the debt ceiling issue that might come up on us. And unless they surprise us with a solution, we're probably going to come down to the last minute. Apple, we have iPhone sales. That could probably be the only catalyst from a standpoint of positive news, because they're going to sell a whole bunch of iPhones. So then how does the market react is the question. So I want Apple to hold the 105, otherwise I see a whoosh down. So yeah, I've said it. Banks, this Friday last week, the banks held together a little bit better because rates climbed. And if rates climb, then banks temporarily climb. You can see they ripped higher on Friday. However, they will eventually follow the market, in my opinion. So don't chase the banks if you think the market is in general. It's not a place to hide, is what I'm saying. German economy, I think they are going to be in trouble because of the problem with VW. Yes, it is a problem. It's going to impact their books tremendously as an economy, and they're the biggest dog in Europe, and if Europe drags, we drag, etc. All car companies are going to be under microscope. They're going to spend legal fees, remedy fees, marketing fees, all kinds of fees, over $20 billion, that's my estimate. I know nothing about the actual cost, but I can just imagine what it's going to cost. All right, so Yellen caused a whole bunch of confusion. Yes, thank you. I saw that. I'll fix it after this. The effects of Yellen. I was certain, 100%, that Yellen is raising rates this year. And after her talking this week, I'm like, now there's doubt. Because even though I still think she wants to raise rates and she has to raise rates, I don't think she can raise rates the way she said it, but she should. So it's like, yes, I want to raise rates, I need to raise rates, but I can't, but I will. So it's like, what? Which is it? So anyway, we're confused. So the focus points are those I just said. The ranges must bounce. So what do we pay attention to? I'm paying attention to Apple. It's a big dog. Also, another big dog is this guy, the IBB, and the IBB represents the biotech basically. And if it loses this area, this bubble here, it could go down to here. And I've said that for a while now, just like I said it, that it could down here, and it did. So we have to pay attention to that, and we have to definitely, I mean, look at the size of the candle last week. The volume dwarfs everything except for right here. I think this might have been the October correction. So it even dwarfed the flash crash as far as volume. So it is a candle to heed. So we need to pay attention to it. For example, there are some elements in there. The whole sector is frothy from the standpoint, not as overpriced because it's new money. So if I just made 10,000 in a stock, I'm likely to ditch it at the first sign of trouble. As I've warned, for example, on Novavax, it was up here, people chasing it to no end. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know, but I just have to trade it as price action. And if I have profits, I book them. Once they broke here, this, I drew the box, and look at that, it's in the box. So there are a lot of new money in there, and it may leave. So if I drew the IBB, just like what happened in the China markets, the equity markets, they said, oh my God, they're in correction territory, meaning they dropped whatever, 10, 20%, but they still had 30% to go because they had been up more than double in just a short number of days. So it doesn't matter how far they've fallen. I look back 12 months and they were in here. So what's to stop them from going back here? If I go back 2 years, so it's not that long ago where they were in the 200s and not in the 400s, okay? So how far they've fallen doesn't mean they can't fall any further. This is a really important level, right? Because it broke out, failed, broke out, bounced, held, bounced, failed. Will it come back and be resistance? If so, then this is where they're going to end up. So be cautious. Don't be overcommitted one way or another. Balance your book. And if you have any questions, let me know. Nick signing out.